Welcome to Heath Riles BBQ. On today's Shooting the Q, we're going to be knocking out an American classic, pork steaks. I got these cut at my local butcher shop, Brad Peer, down at the Butcher Block in South Haven, Mississippi. He cut them about 1.25 inches thick. I mean, it's a really good pork steak. We're going to go ahead and get our PK grill fired up with some roll oak charcoal, and we'll be right back to season these steaks. Now, the first thing that we want to do before we season our pork steaks is go ahead and get our chimney roll oak charcoal briquettes lit with a couple tumbleweeds. I'm going to get the tumbleweeds lit and get this set on top so they'll start coming up to temp. The first thing we want to do to our pork steaks is honestly get some olive oil on them, a little bit of a binder. You can use anything you want. You can even use mustard. Now, once we rub this in, like I said, just for a binder, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using my garlic jalapeno rub day with a little bit of heat. It's got salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, a little bit of jalapeno powder, and a few other things. I'm going to get that on as a nice little base. And then I'm going to come back with some of my original sweet rub here on top. These steaks are going to be nice and flavorful, but really simple. Now I'm going to turn them over and I'm going to do the same thing. Now that I've seasoned both sides of these steaks, I want to go ahead and get them back in my fridge to kind of let the rub just kind of sweat in really good while our grill's coming up to temp, which should be about 20 minutes. And then we'll take them back out after that and get them ready to go on the grill. Now that our coals are good and lit, we want to go ahead and get them poured out in the grill. Now you can see I put them all on one side here. We're going to get our grill set up for 2-zone grilling. Now that our grill is up to temp, we want to go ahead, our pork steaks are sweated in. We want to go ahead and we're going to keep this really simple. We're going to grill them about 5 minutes per side. We're going to go 2.5 minutes and rotate them to get those nice grill marks. And the big thing about a pork steak, there's not really, you really can't overcook it. You can, but you can't. You can treat it like a rib if you want and wrap it up. You can treat it like a steak if you want to. You can do anything you want to. That's the great simplicity of a pork steak. Let's get them on the grill. Now I've got my grill grates good and hot here. I'm going to go ahead and give them a little bit of oil before I put it on. And I'm going to go ahead. Got that nice sear going on. Now once I get those pork steaks on, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start my timer for 2 minutes and 30 seconds and then I'll spin them. Now our timer's going off. I'm going to go ahead and get them spun a little bit. Get them mashed down. Get the grill lid shut. Start our timer back to 2.5 minutes. Alright, now that our timer's going off here, we're going to go ahead and flip these pork steaks. Now I love some char on my pork steak. And remember, there's no right or wrong way of cooking these pork steaks. Now, what I want to do while I go ahead and got the grill lid open, I'm going to go ahead and start my timer here for 2.5 minutes. But I want to go ahead and get some sauce brushed in because I like the char that the sauce gets around the edges and stuff while we're cooking on the other side. Just get a little bit on there, and this is my sweet barbecue sauce. I'm going to get it brushed in right here. I want it to caramelize up very, very good. Is my reasoning for doing this now. Now, go ahead and get the grill lid shut. Alright, our timer's going off again to spin these steaks. Now, go ahead, get this one spun. Keep mashing them down on the grill here. You see they're still looking good. I'm going to let them go another 2.5 minutes, and then we'll start checking them for doneness. Now my timer's going off again. Go ahead and get my grill lid raised. Now, these steaks have had about a total cook time of about 10 minutes so far. I'm going to go ahead and move them over to cool zone on my fire. Now, that grate does have a little heat on that side, but there's no charcoal on that side. So now the first thing I want to do is go ahead and get a little bit of sauce on this side. Now once I get the sauce on there, of course, I want to brush it in. Now I'm going to leave these steaks on the grill once I get this sauce brushed in for about 15 minutes before I check them. And they should be around 155, 160 by then. You could eat your pork at 145 if you want. I prefer to take my pork steaks up a little bit hotter. So I'm going to let these hang out on the cool side of the grill to finish off and come up to temp. And just for good measure, I'm going to go ahead and get a thermometer in them. Now these steaks are hitting about 133. And that one says 145 there by the bone. 144. 135. So we're going to leave them here and we're going to let them go about another 15 minutes. And then they should be right where we want them to be at. Alright, it's been 15 minutes over on the cool side. Our steaks are hitting 170 degrees, both of them. We want to go ahead and remove them get them on our platter to rest. Now, you can honestly do what you want with these steaks. If they're thinner, your cooking times are going to vary. I just like going ahead and getting mine a little bit more done. And so that's why I went close to 170 degrees. Now I want to let these steaks rest for about 10 or 15 minutes before we slice into them. Alright, just to do a quick recap. We got some 1.25" pork steak from our local butcher here, Brad Peart to Butcher Block. We season them with our garlic jalapeno rub and our sweet rub. We let them sweat in when we fired up our roll oak charcoal on our PK360. We cooked them 5 minutes aside, spinning them after 2.5 minutes to get really nice grill marks. We cooked them a total cook time of 10 minutes, moved them over to the cool zone of the fire, started saucing them where that sauce could really caramelize on that fat and around the edges and get way less heat. We cooked them for another 15 minutes so they got an internal temp up to about 170 degrees. We pulled them off, we let them rest for 10 minutes, and now it's a moment of truth. We want to go ahead and we want to get them tasted because I can't wait to get in them. I love the good char on a pork steak. So I'm going to go in here. Oh, look at that right there. Wow. That flavor from that garlic jalapeno rub, that sweetness come through from the sweet sauce and everything. These turned out phenomenal. If you like what we're doing, be sure to subscribe to our channel and give us a comment. Tell us what you'd like to see us cooking. We've got a full list going on. We're going to continue to cook every week. I appreciate everybody for watching our videos and sharing with your friends. Thanks.